in this part of the world, we like open running rugby. We play usually under better conditions, Saturday night excluded, and we want to see ball in hand, running rugby. That doesn't mean we don't love a scrum as much as everywhere else on the planet. It's the repeated scrum sets that this law is designed to get out of the game. And do you not think that if you give away a tap free kick at one scrum, if you give away another one at the next scrum, that you're probably going to give away a penalty? And if you give away a third one, then someone's going to go to the sin bin. So you're going to be playing without a player for 10 minutes. It's just farcical that this is the belief out there from some corners of the North, certainly on social media, that this is a way for Australia and New Zealand to avoid scrummaging.
Yeah, I've got to admit that's the thing that, and I think it actually took everyone by not necessarily surprised, but it was the headline act out of those law changes. I personally love it because I was just at the game between the Waratahs and the Chiefs a week or so earlier, a fortnight earlier, where between about the 33rd and 38th minute, there was about 6 scrums, and a couple of them were from free kicks. And yes, there was a penalty or two that was played off advantage, but then the Chiefs, because they had a slight scrum dominance, decided, no, we'll pack down for another scrum. Eventually, it ends in Sean Stevenson scoring the try as soon as the ball is spread out to the backs. But to me, I'm hardcore on rugby, and I'd gone down and watched out on ground level, and you could just, for the first 50 minutes of that game, and you could tell that the crowd was frustrated just watching scrum reset after scrum reset. And I was with one of my good mates, and he's more of a football fan, but he was just saying, hey, this is 5 minutes we've just watched and nothing's occurred. And if you're not a hardcore fan, you're not going to be interested in it, I don't think. But I don't think this is, if you've still got a strong scrum, you're going to get a penalty. So I don't think it necessarily is going to diminish the scrum powerhouses of the world and those like the Springboks. So I think those that are crying probably don't quite understand that it will probably have a positive effect. It's just going to speed the game up slightly. But I wonder whether or not, yes, okay, no free kicks, but teams are still going to be able to be awarded scrum penalties, and that could well happen. Yes, there's going to be more maybe free kicks, but and then they'll have to play on quickly. But I imagine if you have such scrum dominance, the referee's not going to be scared now of going penalty. And there's always unintended consequences as soon as you make a change to the law. So we'll see what happens. But I completely agree with you. Since Mario Ledesma came on board with the Wallabies ahead of the 2015 World Cup, Australia's scrum's been pretty good, save for last year's World Cup where the Wallabies lost Taniela Tupou and a couple of others within a second or two. But the All Blacks have got a good scrum, and from memory, they smashed Ireland at the scrum in last year's quarterfinals. So, I think it's just it's more typical kind of Northern Hemisphere whinging more than anything.